Okay, here's a drone video. Look at that yucca tree right there. Or the yucca plant right in front of us, dead center. That's meaningful. And I'll tell you why in a second here. This is almost 15 acres, 14.9 acres at Timber Shoals Ranch. You're going to see a lot of mature timber here. We're at the southern side, and we actually found an old home site, the remains of an old foundation from a cabin and some other cool stuff. And the yucca plant is meaningful because the early Ozark homesteaders very often had yucca plants in their yard. They were sold mail order through the Sears and Roebuck catalog, and they were used kind of like you might have an aloe plant in your house to put on a burn. They were, I guess, somewhat decorative, but also medicinal because you could use the yucca plants for quite a bit of different stuff. So when you see those, you're probably buying an old homestead. Now, if you look there, if you look carefully, you can see part of an old foundation. Kind of hard to see from the air, and dozens of walnut trees, which is also something that you tend to see around actual home sites. They would use those walnuts for a lot of it. I mean, they would use the walnut lumber, but they would use the actual walnuts to make stain, to eat. Really cool. So that was one of the really neat things about this property. Looking northerly, it's basically all covered, 98% wooded with nice timber all over the place. We found a couple really small little meadows along the south side, but most of this property is wooded, and it's got good timber. We didn't see any signs of logging for decades and decades on this property. There's timber that's well over 100 years old on this property. Looking northerly, we're basically looking directly over the property. It's right in front of us and also on both sides. So you'll have a great mixture of timber. And you can see the lake is on both sides of us because we're on a private peninsula. So I mean, you have lake access points all over the place. Check out the listing at InstantAcres.com to see the different access points. As we pan to the west, if you look across the lake right there, right center, that's Tucker Hollow Marina. So that's cool to have that nearby. Taking a look at that. I believe in a moment we'll pan to the south. And at the southern end of the peninsula there's a big cloud over the southern end of the peninsula. You can't see it, but the sandy beach area is at the south end. That's one place where we've launched a boat as well as jet skis. Now we're looking easterly. You can see the lake, and then again the lake as it wraps around that other peninsula. And that right in front of us, that's State Line Cove, and that's another place that we've launched a boat and jet skis, both just natural gravel launches. If you're launching a huge boat, you're going to want a concrete launch. We really haven't checked into that. I'm sure there are some in the area, but for pontoons and bass boats and jet skis, we've had very good luck with those two natural launches. Okay, so now we're still looking northerly over the property. I think we're going to do a flyover here in a moment. So, I mean, the cool thing about having a homestead is not only is it really exciting to check it out and see kind of the artifacts that are left, but it took a lot of work to set up a homestead, 100, 150 years ago with no electricity or any of that stuff. So, I mean, basically, when they set up a homestead, they had a reason for picking the spot that they did. So whether it was how level the ground was, or the quality of the soil in that particular area, or access to water, when someone actually put the time and effort into creating a homestead, there was a reason why. So if you have a property that has an old homestead on it, you've probably got a pretty nice property. Now I think we're looking southerly. It was a little windy and quite cloudy on the day that we took this video. But it's still useful. I mean, it still shows you kind of how the property is situated. Gorgeous property, easement road access, so you'll want a truck or a four-wheel drive SUV generally, but it's quite private. Timber Shoals Ranch is a huge private peninsula on Bull Shoals Lake. There are only about 80 tracts. This is definitely one of the larger ones. Most are from 3 to 5 acres in size, with a few being bigger. The truck is parked on the easement road at the south side of the property, by the way. sycamore trees, walnut trees, oak trees, hickory trees, especially around this home site. I mean, we saw quite a few walnut trees. And I mean, as far as if you ever log the property after it's been paid for in full, the walnut trees are money in the bank. I mean, they can be worth thousands of dollars. The large ones certainly can. Beautiful tract, oh my gosh. Once it's been paid for in full, you can log it, you can use the timber to build. While you're making payments, you cannot cut the timber, although we often do make written exceptions for driveways and building sites. You can contact us for details about that. Some minor property covenants in place as far as setbacks from the road. I think when you build your home or cabin, it's got to be at least 600 square feet on a concrete foundation. And again, you can see all the details at InstantAcres.com. But yeah, go to InstantAcres.com, and if the property is available, that's where you'll see it. You'll see a ton of other information as well as an interactive map. If you have any questions, definitely let us know. You can reach us by phone, or you can email us anytime at sales@instantacres.com, and we hope to hear from you. This is a special property. This is ID number TS76, 14.954 acres at Timber Shoals Ranch. Beautiful tract of land. That's InstantAcres.com.